The Anuak people have a deep and ancient connection to the fertile lands of Gambela in western Ethiopia. For generations they lived in harmony with the land, their lives intertwined with its rhythms. The Anuak were known for their pastoral traditions, their cattle representing wealth and prosperity. But in the tensions over the cattle, they have abandoned pastoralism and adopted farming activities for centuries. The land provided sustenance, the rivers teemed with fish, and the forests offered shelter, medicine and resources. Their culture thrived on the banks of the rivers, their songs and stories echoing through the grasslands. They were a people rooted in their ancestral home, their identity inseparable from the land itself. The conflict in Gambela did not erupt overnight. It began with a slow simmer, fueled by competing claims over land and resources and the arrivals of refugees into the culturally distinct autonomous region. The war in Sudan and the arrival of refugees from South Sudan fleeing persecution and seeking pasture and water for their herds added pressure to the delicate balance. The newcomers, often armed, began to encroach upon Anuak traditional land, threatened their grazing, fishing and farming activities, leading to disputes and skirmishes. As competition for resources intensified, so too did the tensions between the Anuak and the newer migrants. Today, the Gambela insecurity has intensified, with cross-border newer militants joining the large refugees population and the long-time newer locals. The stage was set for a conflict that would tear at the fabric of Gambela's society. The Ethiopian government, rather than acting as a neutral arbiter, played a significant role in exacerbating the conflict. Instead of addressing the root causes of the land disputes and protecting the rights of the Anuak, the government often sided with the migrants. It's adopted policies that discriminate and threatens Anuak identity. This favoritism stemmed from political calculations and a desire to assert control over the resource-rich Gambela region. The government's actions, or lack thereof, created a climate of impunity, emboldening those who sought to drive the Anuak from their land. The Anuak, facing discrimination and violence, found themselves increasingly marginalized in their own traditional homeland. The consequences of the conflict for the Anuak have been devastating. Driven from their ancestral lands, they have been subjected to violence, displacement and human rights abuses. Many have been forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring South Sudan or within Ethiopia itself. The lucky ones found shelter in overcrowded camps, while others faced an uncertain future, their lives upended by the violence that had engulfed their region. The Anuak, once a thriving community, found themselves scattered and dispossessed.
I am a Julu, a young Anuak woman. I embody the resilience of my people in the face of adversity. Forced to flee my village when armed men attacked, I witnessed unimaginable horrors. My family scattered. I made the perilous journey to a refugee camp in South Sudan, carrying little more than the clothes on my back and the memories of my former life. Life in the camp was harsh, marked by shortages of food, water, and medicine. Despite the hardships, I remained determined to rebuild my life. I volunteered at the camp's clinic, using my knowledge of traditional medicine to help others. My story is a testament to the strength and resilience of the Anuak spirit, even in the face of unimaginable hardship.
The conflict has had a profound impact on education and community life in Gambela. Schools have been destroyed, teachers have fled, and children have been robbed of their education. The once vibrant cultural traditions of the Anuak have been disrupted, their songs and stories silenced by the sounds of violence. The social fabric of the community has been torn apart, leaving behind a legacy of trauma and mistrust. The international community cannot stand idly by while the Anuak continue to suffer. We must amplify their voices, raising awareness of their plight and demanding accountability for the injustices they have endured. Governments and international organizations must work together to address the root causes of the conflict, ensuring that the Anuak's land rights are protected and that those responsible for human rights abuses are held accountable. We must provide humanitarian assistance to those who have been displaced, ensuring that they have access to food, water, shelter and medical care. The Anuak deserve justice, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure that they receive it. Thank you for watching. Join us again in our next program and do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel.